hit the lottery, but I'm still counting earth. You know how I do, and that's the bottom line. See, I draw my bottom to the top. I can't be stopped. I give it all I got. Now I work my whole life. I live for the pressure. I work for the fame and put it all on the line. Each and every day, from the bottom to the top. I can't be stopped. I give it all I got. Now I work my whole life. I live for the pressure. I work for the fame and put it all on the line. Each and every day. Yeah. See how you, the dean of the industry.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, we're pretty short on it.
Yeah, it's alright, I'll make it work. It's not a big deal.
spectators.
From the banks of the Ohio River on the beautiful campus of Marietta College, NCAA Tournament basketball is coming to you live. Hello everyone, I'm Drake Bolin, and I'll be bringing you all the action this evening for the first round of the NCAA Division III Men's Basketball Championship. In the first game today, it's a battle between a tournament regular and a first-timer to the big dance, as the New Jersey City University Gothic Knights will battle the Knights of Arcadia University. New Jersey City finds themselves in very familiar territory, as this is their third consecutive NCAA tournament appearance and their 21st all-time as a program. Head coach Mark Brown is in his 12th season at the helm and holds a .603 winning percentage after taking over for his father, legendary head coach Charlie Brown, as the head man in 2007. The Gothic Knights are the regular season champions of the NJAC, but were upset at home in the title game by number 2 seed Rowan, 80-77. They had a strong resume, though, and have a 5-3 mark against teams in this year's NCAA championship field. The result was a Pool C berth for NJCU, as they finished second in the Atlantic Regional Rankings. This is a veteran squad for New Jersey City, as they have 6 seniors and 4 juniors to go along with a core of promising underclassmen. It's a long and athletic bunch, with the Gothic Knights posting a +5.5 turnover margin for the season and forcing 10 steals per contest. But to go along with a strong D, NJCU also was the number 2 scoring team in the NJAC, averaging 79 points per contest and shooting 43% overall. They've lost in the first round of the NCAA tournament each of the last 3 trips to the dance, and they'll be looking to turn the tide today against another group of Knights located just 90 miles to their south on I-95. Those Knights come from Arcadia University, a suburban campus located just 12 miles from Center City, Philadelphia. And while NJCU is a traditional power, Arcadia is enjoying their program's first ever trip to the big dance. The Knights were 22-5 on the season, including a 2-3 record against those programs appearing in the NCAA championship. Arcadia's season began with a close 79-72 exhibition loss at Division I Central Connecticut State, and it proved to be a harbinger of success. The Knights ran through the MAC Commonwealth Conference with a 14-2 mark, earning the regular season championship and number 1 seed. Their tournament run wasn't much of a challenge, as they blew out number 2 seed Widener in the championship game 92-56 at home. Head coach Justin Scott is in his 7th season and has turned this program around while posting a 103-86 record to go along with 2 ECAC tournament appearances. Just like NJCU, it's a team that relies heavily on its upperclassmen, with 8 seniors and 4 juniors dominating the roster. The Knights are a veteran bunch that limits mistakes while putting up strong defensive numbers. Out of 17 teams in the MAC, they're the number 1 overall defense, giving up 68 points per contest and holding teams to just 40% shooting from the floor. This is officially the first game of the 2019 Division III Men's Basketball Championship, as the next block of games won't be tipping off until 5:30. So we welcome all of you D3 Hoops fans tuning in and look forward to bringing a great contest to kick off what's sure to be a fun next few weeks of March. We'll step aside here briefly for the national anthem and be right back to Van Johnson Arena. It's a battle of Knights, as the 20-7 New Jersey City Gothic Knights take on the 22-5 Arcadia Knights on the campus of Marietta College. Coming to you next.
From Glenside, Pennsylvania, out of the Middle Atlantic Commonwealth Conference versus the New Jersey City University Gothic Knights from the New Jersey Athletic Conference. Before we introduce the starting lineups, we ask you please rise and let's honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Performing the anthem this afternoon is Marietta College student Sophie Wheeler.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
An outstanding rendition of the national anthem by a Marietta College student, and we are just about ready to get things underway. This is the first contest of the 2019 NCAA Division III Men's Basketball Championship, and we welcome you inside Ban Johnson Arena on the campus of Marietta College. Let's meet the teams first. For the Arcadia University Knights, they come from the MAC Commonwealth Conference, a 22-5 record. They were 14-2 in the MAC Commonwealth. Their starters, number 1, Daquan Davis, a sophomore guard, 6'1" from Philly. He leads the team in points with 16 per contest, tied for third in rebounds. He has 5 per. Number 3, Josh Scott. He's a senior guard, 6'3" from Darby, Pennsylvania, 13 points per game, 5 rebounds per contest as well. He's the team leader in steals. He has 32. Number 4, John Lott, senior guard, 6'3" from Coatesville, Pennsylvania, 4 points and 4 rebounds per contest for him. Evan Sloan, he wears number 24. He's a senior forward, 6'6" from Souderton, Pennsylvania. He is the Middle Atlantic Conference leader in field goal percentage. He averages 10 points and 6 rebounds per game. And lastly, number 42, Phil Pierfy, senior forward, 6'5" from Easton, Pennsylvania, 13.5 points and 6 rebounds per contest. He's also the Knights leader in blocks with 11 on the season. For New Jersey City University, 20-7. They were 14-4 in the NJAC on the season. Number 0, LeVron Green, senior 2 guard, 6'2" from Teaneck, New Jersey. 9 points and 2 rebounds per contest for him. He's second in the NJAC in free throw shooting percentage, 2. Number 1, Shaquan Worthy, 5 points and 3 rebounds per game. He is second in the NJAC in assists with 109 on the season. Also among the leaders in all of Division III in steals. He has 68 this year. James Julius, he dons number 14, a senior forward, 6'3" from Linden, New Jersey, 6.5 points and 4 rebounds per contest for James. Number 15, Yuri Brutus, 6'5" from Roselle, New Jersey, a senior forward, 7 points, 4.5 rebounds per game. Third on the squad in steals. He is second in blocks. And rounding things out, Sam Toney. The forward is a junior, 6'4" from Plainfield, New Jersey. He leads the squad in scoring with 16 points per game. Also the leader in rebounds with 7.5. Those are both among the leaders in the NJAC. He also paces the Gothic Knights in blocks with 24. NJCU is led by head coach Mark Brown in his 12th season. He has a record of 196 and 129. We mentioned in the pregame how he succeeded his father, Charlie Brown, as head coach in 2007 after Mark had a 16-year playing career overseas. In that career, he had earned the nickname Showbiz for a flashy style of play. NJCU shows a little flash themselves, and we are just about ready to tip things off. Leading the way for Arcadia, as we mentioned in the pregame, is their head coach, Justin Scott. He's in his 7th season, has a .545 winning percentage, 2 ECAC tournament appearances, but this, his first trip to the NCAA Tournament. Arcadia's first as a program, too. We are underway as NJCU wins the tip, and they will attack the basket to our left. Enjoyed the broadcast and the brawl game as we are underway in the NCAA Division III Men's Basketball Championship. New Jersey City with the miss. Rebound for Arcadia. That was Tony firing up the shot for NJCU. Going strong to the rack. John Lott for Arcadia missed, but a putback basket for number 24, Evan Sloan. Arcadia on the board first. They lead 2-0 over the Gothic Knights. And quickly it'll be an offensive foul on Yuri Brutus of NJCU. First foul for him, first foul for either team. 2-0 our score in favor of the Knights of Arcadia in their first ever trip to the NCAA Tournament. Out top, Phil Pierfy passes it off to the left side in front of where is normally the Marietta student section. That's John Lott. He'll feed down low And ball goes out of bounds as Evan Sloan tried to send a pass across the paint. 13 on the shot clock. It'll remain Arcadia basketball, but they'll have to hurry as now the timer is under 10. Ball goes out of bounds, was deflected by NJCU's Shaquan Worthy. 9 seconds left on the timer. NJCU buckling down on defense as Arcadia attacks the bucket to our right. Firing up a teardrop floater, no good. That's Daquan Davis. Getting the board though and putting it back up, Evan Sloan. Evan Sloan now with all 4 of Arcadia's points. He averages 10 on the season. NJCU basketball NBA range 3. That was hoisted up by Sam Toney. It's missed. Arcadia rushes it down the floor. In the paint, right side, Phil Pierfy kicks it out. 3-ball is missed. That was attempted by Josh Scott. NJCU has some trouble getting it down the floor. They do so and will now reset. On the left wing, Sam Toney passes it back out. Play being called by Shaquan Worthy. Worthy angles to his left, passes it off to Green. Green with the right-handed dribble gets caught in no man's land, just 6 on the shot clock. Far away from the bucket, Worthy will have to attack. It's the free throw line, kicks it. 3-ball coming and scoring it right as time expires, LeVron Green. Green, a 6'2" senior guard from Teaneck, New Jersey, averages 9 points. Also 2 boards per contest. He's struggled some with ball control this year, 22 assists to 31 turnovers for Green. 4-3 our score in favor of Arcadia. And the Knights of Arcadia will get the inbound. This is a battle of the Knights. NJCU, they are the Gothic Knights. Arcadia, just regular old Knights. One might say we've got a bit of a joust going on this evening as 2 Knights going at it. As we mentioned in the pregame, these 2 schools not that far away from each other, just about 90 miles apart. Down I-95 from NJCU is Arcadia in suburban Philly. That shot up and in for John Lott. Taken from around the OAC logo here inside Ban Johnson Arena. OAC is the Ohio Athletic Conference, Marietta's conference that they compete in, of course. This shot for NJCU, and now attacking on the other end, Daquan Davis, but they'll get him for an offensive foul.
Daquan Davis, his first.
Just a bit out of control was Davis, and NJCU gets the call. It's the first foul called on Arcadia. Both teams with 1 personal foul. 16:48 on the running first half clock as Worthy calls out a play for the Gothic Knights. Feeding it down low is Pierfrey. He gets it in, and the shot is made by Yuri Brutus. Yuri Brutus, senior forward from Roselle, New Jersey. Everyone on this NJCU squad is from New Jersey. Would have figured with this campus that is really just across the bridge from New York City, they might have some New Yorkers on their squad, but it is an entirely New Jersey roster for NJCU. Who else but Evan Sloan again for Arcadia. He has 6 points. Arcadia has 8-5. The lead for the Knights over the Gothic Knights. Driving baseline left, Shaquan Worthy, he loses it out of bounds, but it's going to be last touched by Arcadia. That will bring us to our first media timeout. We will have these throughout the evening, and you'll notice them in all of the NCAA tournament broadcasts throughout. If you are a D3 Hoops fan, we will step aside for a short break and be right back to Banjo. This is NCAA Championship Basketball. We are back inside Van Johnson Arena. We're in the early going. Arcadia is on top of New Jersey City University by a score of 8-5. 15:50 remaining here in the first half. It will be NJCU basketball with just 11 on the shot clock. Triggering the inbounds is Shaquan Worthy, having a hard time getting it in. He finally does so to James Julius. He's on the right side and will back down. John Lott fading away with the shot. It's no good. DeQuan Davis with the board for Arcadia, and he will bring it across the timeline. Fans, wherever you may be watching us from, we would certainly love to hear from you. If you're a NJCU fan, you can tweet us using hashtag NJCUMBB. Again, that's NJCUMBB. If you're an Arcadia fan, you can use their official hashtag, which is pretty simply Go Knights. Hashtag Go Knights. Let us know where you're watching from, or if you have a question or a comment, or just want to give a hearty Go Gothic Knights or Go Knights, depending on who you're rooting for. Let us know. I'm sure we've got folks from all over the place in the not only fandoms of these two teams, but the D3 Hoops fandom as well, because as I mentioned, this is the first game of the NCAA Division III Men's Basketball Championship. So again, that's hashtag NJCUMBB or hashtag Go Knights. Let us know who you're rooting for, as well as where you are tuning in from. A lot of viewership already for this game. We can track how many are watching in real time, and these numbers are outstanding, particularly for a game that doesn't involve Marietta. Obviously, I am typically the broadcaster for Pioneer games, but happy to be bringing you NCAA Tournament basketball here this evening.
Arcadia foul number 24, Evan Stone.
Arcadia foul there will be assessed to Evan Sloan, his first, and the team's second. Basket was counted, little continuation for Yuri Brutus, and he'll get a chance to add one more at the free throw line. That looked down, but rimmed itself out. Board for Pierfy of Arcadia, and the Knights will operate on the bucket to our right. With the yo-yo dribble, Josh Scott. He gets inside the arc, passes it out, but it's stolen away by NJCU. Stolen right back, though, by Jordan Sanders. First we've called his name for Arcadia, and now the Arcadia Knights will work to the hoop, and another and one. Count the basket and the foul.
Jersey City.
That was made by Josh Scott, and the foul for New Jersey City is going to be called on James Richardson, senior point guard. His first, and now the team's third. So Josh Scott will have one shot in an attempt to answer right back for Arcadia. He's able to convert on the free throw, and Arcadia has doubled up NJCU. 14-18 on the clock. Our score, 14-7, Arcadia. Quick three hoisted up by Sam Toney for NJCU. It's missed. Another Arcadia rebound. Thus far in the rebounding battle, Arcadia outboarding NJCU 8-2. Domination on the glass for Arcadia. If you're curious on the season, Arcadia leads in rebounding margin per game +8. NJCU is +2.5. A couple offensive boards here for NJCU, unable to get the shot to fall, but we will have a foul call on whom? They'll get Phil Pierfy for Arcadia. That is his first, team's third. They'll say it was not in the act of shooting, as NJCU was getting a series of rebounds and unable to hit a shot. Pierfy assessed with the foul on the rebound, and now Pierfy's going to be hit with another quick one. He was fighting through a screen at the top of the key, and that's now two quick ones on Phil Pierfy, the 6'5" forward for Arcadia, and he's their second leading scorer, leading rebounder. That is an important player to have on the bench for the Knights. NJCU basketball again out of the foul, and they will look to work their offense. Out top, surveying is Richardson. He will now pass it off to Shaquan Worthy, their floor general. He'll bark out a play, now drive to the free throw line, kicks it. Floater shot, hoisted up by Richardson, no good, but another foul call on Arcadia.
Arcadia foul number 30, Jordan Sanders.
This one on number 30, Jordan Sanders. That is his first, and already 5 fouls on Arcadia. 5 for them, 3 for NJCU. NJCU basketball again off yet another Arcadia foul. Denzel Banks will angle to his right and drive, but they're going to get him for an offensive foul. Banks shows some frustration as he'll walk away from the officials.
Denzel Banks, his first.
And for Banks, that is his first, now the team's 4th for the Gothic Knights. Arcadia with 5 fouls, NJCU with 4. Referees showing the propensity for a quick whistle in the early going inside Ban Johnson Arena. For those of you tuning in, perhaps from out of the area, whether you're an Arcadia fan or NJCU fan or just a Division III basketball fan in general, we are at Marietta College. If you're curious, that's in Marietta, Ohio. We're just across the river from Parkersburg, West Virginia. Perhaps a bit of a larger town you may have heard of. Marietta is about, an hour and a half or so from Columbus, Ohio, the nearest major city, and an hour and change from the capital of West Virginia, which is Charleston, West Virginia. So we're in southeastern Ohio on the banks of the Ohio River. Beautiful campus, beautiful area. Missed shot for NJCU. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touched by the Gothic Knights. We've got our first Twitter mention. Shout out to @SaluteBad, tweeting hashtag NJCUMBB. So have some Gothic Knight fans tuning in. Again, if you're an Arcadia fan, tweet hashtag Go Knights. We would love to hear from you as well. If you're an NJCU fan, hashtag NJCUMBB. Arcadia basketball, they're up 16-7 with approaching 12 minutes to go on the clock. That's going to be a blocking foul called as driving into the lane for Arcadia was number 1, Daquan Davis. Correction, that was Steve Pendleton, number 0. They've got a number 0 and a number 1 for the Arcadia Knights, so that will send Steve Pendleton to the line, the junior guard from Ardmore, Pennsylvania. Makes his first free throw, and he'll have one more. Pendleton is a 76%er from the free throw line on the season. Pendleton eyes the bucket and rattles it home. 18-7, the Arcadia lead, as NJCU's been held scoreless for now approaching 3 minutes. They're 1 of 8 in their last 8 from the floor. Overall, just 3 of 13 from the floor this evening. That's not going to help. Shot skips out for Solomon Pierre, senior forward from East Orange, New Jersey. Arcadia ball, and they have a chance to break this lead wide open. Wouldn't be surprised to see an NJCU timeout coming here soon. Driving to the hoop is Daquan Davis. May have taken an extra step, but before he did that, we're going to have a foul called on NJCU. That will take us to our next media timeout with 11:28 to go in this first half of play. Our score 18-7 in favor of Arcadia. We will keep it here for this timeout, take you through some of our stats thus far for NJCU. 4 points for Yuri Brutus, 3 points for LeBron Green. After that, no other Gothic Knights have scored. Brutus is 2 of 2 from the floor, and Green is 1 of 2. That made shot was a three-pointer. Overall, NJCU 21% from the floor, 25%, just 1 of 4 from 3, and they're 0 of 1 from the free throw line. For Arcadia, much better shooting night so far. 7 of 12 overall. They're 0 of 2, have yet to make a three-pointer. Leading the way for Arcadia is Evan Sloan. He has 6 points. After that, 3 for Davis, 3 for Scott, and then 2 apiece for Lott and Pendleton. Arcadia is 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Rebounding, Arcadia leads that battle 11-6. Turnover-wise, not much of a factor so far. 2 for Arcadia, 3 for NJCU. Points in the paint has been absolutely dominated, though, by Arcadia, 12-4. Out of that media timeout, it will send Daquan Davis to the free throw line. He is Arcadia's leading scorer, third leading rebounder, and just a sophomore, 6'1" from Philly. Philadelphia has some outstanding high school basketball, and Arcadia being right in that backyard certainly recruits that area heavily. Banjo is dead quiet as Daquan Davis misses his first. He'll get one more. He's a 78% free throw shooter. Davis takes a couple dribbles, eyes the bucket, and gets his second. 1 of 2 for Daquan Davis. 19-7 is our score with 11:23 to go until halftime. NJCU needs a bucket in the worst way right now as Solomon Pierre yo-yos the dribble out top. He will feed Tony down low, tries to hoist up a shot. He is heavily contested. It's missed. Rebound is tipped around all over the place, controlled by Arcadia. In transition, driving to the hoop was Will Durr. Unable to get the layup to connect. NJCU now has it and will try to settle things down. NJCU has had a tough shooting night so far. Lining up that three and missing it is Jeff Haddock Jr., 6'1", 2 guard from Burlington Township, New Jersey. Offensive rebound, though, for the Gothic Knights, and they will once again try to set up an open shot. NJCU, whether it's a contested shot or not, they are just not hitting whatsoever right now from the floor. Can sense a little bit of frustration setting in on the part of the Gothic Knights. That hook shot was missed by Solomon Pierre. Rebound came down into the hands of Tony. And we'll have an Arcadia foul, as giving Tony a big bear hug was Kyle Riley for the Knights.
Jersey City, Yuri Brutus replacing Sal Pierre.
Yuri Brutus back into the game for NJCU. And they'll get a fresh 30 on the shot clock as we have 10:17 on the game clock. 6 fouls apiece for both teams as we approach 10 minutes to go in the first half. Officials showing a quick whistle thus far. Finally, a three-pointer for NJCU. That's James Julius, a 32% three-point shooter, perhaps an unlikely individual to hit their first three, but he does so. And that gets NJCU off the schneid as they had been held scoreless for quite some time. Quickly answering, though, for Arcadia is Steve Pendleton. So our score now 21-10. Perhaps NJCU heating up a little bit, but Arcadia shutting that door very quickly with a made bucket. Streaking into the lane, firing that shot is Jeff Haddock Jr. It's missed, but that's going to be foul number 7 on Arcadia. Will Durr hit with that one. And we'll have free throws for NJCU. Jeff Haddock Jr. will get 2 shots. He's an 84% free throw shooter. Haddock so far on the evening, 0 of 1 from the floor. That was a 3-point attempt. Misses the first free throw. We'll get a few Arcadia subs. Checking back in will be John Lott for the Knights. Lott on the evening, 2 points 1 of 2 from the floor. Second free throw on the way and hit for Jeff Haddock Jr. Haddock 7 points per game. One of their top free throw shooters at 84%. Some token pressure shown by NJCU, easily broken by Daquan Davis. Arcadia will set up their offense. They have a 10-point lead. Getting into the paint, and it's going to be a travel for John Lott. Lott got right to the OAC logo, took just a bit of an extra step. He's hit with the travel, and for Arcadia, that's now turnover number 3. NJCU also with 3 turnovers. Back to that rebounding battle. NJCU has cut it a bit closer, 12-9 in favor of Arcadia. Arcadia on the year, as we mentioned, +8 per game in rebounding. 3-ball fired up, missed for James Julius. No second chance points there for NJCU as Arcadia streaks it down the floor, and Daquan Davis dribbles behind his back. Now is a step back mid-ranger. No. James Julius skying for the rebound. He'll bring it down the floor himself. Hops to pass it off, and before he does so, it will be an offensive foul. Off-ball foul called on Yuri Brutus. And for Brutus, that is now his 2nd and team's 7th. Offensive foul though, so no free throws for Arcadia. They'll get to inbound it. Getting the basketball, Daquan Davis. He'll work against his number 1 counterpart, Shaquan Worthy, and easily break the pressure. Out top for Arcadia, that's Kyle Riley. He'll pass it right wing to Josh Scott. Scott attempts to feed Evan Sloan, and the ball goes out of bounds. A conference of the officials to see who last touched it. They will settle on it being last touched by NJCU. Arcadia doesn't have an inbounder. Finally, they figured that one out. Josh Scott will trigger it in from the final tee, and Marietta has a hard time doing so, but finally gets it to Sloan. Evan Sloan, the leading scorer thus far for Arcadia, and that's going to be a blocking foul called on Shaquan Worthy for New Jersey City. Free throw time for Arcadia, and that will send Kyle Riley to the charity stripe. Riley a 78%er on the season.
1-1.
Riley will get 1-1. He has 2 points so far tonight. He averages 7.5 points. Arcadia currently with a 10-point advantage, and important to point out that their second leading scorer, leading rebounder, Phil Pierfy, on the bench with foul trouble right now. It's been no problem for the Knights, though. Pierfy for the game has just 6 minutes. All sorts of players stepping up in his absence, not the least of which Evan Sloan, who's their leading scorer right now with 6 points. 1 of 2 at the line for Riley. Board for the Gothic Knights, and they'll bring it across the timeline. 22-11 our score. We are just under 8 minutes to go until halftime. Next dead ball will mean the media timeout. Left wing for NJCU, that's Haddock. He will send it back to the left wing. LeVron Green now into the paint. Good ball movement for the Gothic Knights, and scoring it is Tony. Sam Tony getting the bucket for the Gothic Knights, and so far on the evening, that is just his first points of the contest. Tony is a mere 1 of 7 from the floor, 0 of 3 from deep. He's their leading scorer and leading rebounder, but has been held quiet thus far by Arcadia. That'll mean the media timeout as a foul assessed on James Julius for NJCU. 22-13 our score in favor of the Knights of Arcadia. We will step aside and be right back to Ban Johnson Arena here on the campus of Marietta College. This is NCAA Championship Basketball. We're back to Ban Johnson Arena. We affectionately call it the Banjo here in Southeast Ohio, where Arcadia is on top of NJCU 22-13. We've got all sorts of fans checking in on Twitter. Want to say hello. Some of our NJCU fans at Sweet Pea Chance, at SMDO1AN. We've got Tasha Harris watching from Brandywine, Maryland. And we mentioned earlier at Salute Bad, also an NJCU fan checking in. We've got a few Arcadia fans. We'll check in after this free throw from Daquan Davis. Davis has that one rattle out on him. For Arcadia, we have at Rhodesy2509 says Go Knights, hashtag Arcadia. Also Irvin Payne, who's at Big Irv 14, also says Let's Go Arcadia, as well as at Packer Fan DANJR. So Arcadia fans and NJCU fans checking in from around the country. We appreciate you. If you're an NJCU fan, use hashtag NJCUMBB. If you're an Arcadia fan, again, hashtag Go Knights. Let us know where you are tuning in from. When we have these games for Marietta College, we have individuals from all over the place, sometimes even overseas that check in. So certainly if you're somewhere far away or perhaps even across the pond, let us know. We would love to hear from you. Put back bucket for Salomon Pierre of NJCU, as they got several second chance attempts there. NJCU perhaps warming up a bit on the boards as they now lead on the glass 16-13 over Arcadia. Granted, that has been inflated by a couple possessions like that where they get multiple offensive boards, but Arcadia on the season is +8 per game rebounding. That's an important part of their game, and if they don't lead in that rebounding battle, it could turn into a long night for Arcadia. 2 shots right now at the line for Daquan Davis. He misses that one. So far on the evening, Davis is 2 of 5 from the line. He's a 78% free throw shooter. 22-15 our score as NJCU is gradually scratching and clawing back into this contest. Arcadia scoreless now for the last minute and 37 seconds. Second free throw is good for Davis. So Davis now 3 of 6 from the free throw line. Arcadia up by 8. Under 6 minutes, 30 seconds until halftime. Angling to his right is Jeff Haddock Jr., and he's going to be bumped by Daquan Davis.
His second. Team 8.
That is Davis's second, and now the team's 8th. So that'll mean 1-1 for Jeff Haddock Jr. of NJCU. Haddock Jr., an 84% free throw shooter. 1 of 2 so far tonight. He just has that 1 point. Makes his first. One more coming for Haddock Jr. We talked about the rebounding battle. Turnover-wise, NJCU has 4. Arcadia with 3. And certainly had to think coming in, that would be a key for NJCU. They are +5.5 in turnover margin on the year. Arcadia is virtually even. That's something they have had some struggles with, particularly against better opponents. So far, this contest in favor of Arcadia as they're up by 6. NJCU edging ever closer as they start to heat up just a bit from the floor. 6 of 25 are the Gothic Knights. Arcadia, 8 of 15. But important to circle, many more shot attempts for NJCU. That's come off of a lot of offensive boards. 9 boards for NJCU to just 2 for Arcadia. 2 shots at the line for Arcadia's number 3, Josh Scott. Foul was assessed to Solomon Pierre for NJCU.
Back for Arcadia, Steve.
Scott's first one good, and he'll get one more. Scott, a 77% free throw shooter. Both these teams shoot quite well from the free throw line. Scott's second one also good. Arcadia 73% on the season. NJCU just a shade over that, 73.2%. But both good free throw shooting teams. And tell you what, you see a lot of that in the NCAA tournament. By the time you get to this time of the year, most teams that are solid teams in the big dance are typically pretty good at their free throws. Arcadia basketball off the miss from the Gothic Knights. We approach 5 minutes until halftime, 25-17. Arcadia on top. Dribbling out top, Jordan Sanders. He passes it to Will Durr. Durr sends a skip pass into the left corner to Josh Scott. He attempts to drive, shot no good. Tony brings it down the floor. He is a big man to be dribbling the ball down the court, but he can really do it all for NJCU. Leading scorer, leading rebounder. Also leads in blocks and has 19 steals to boot. Ball deflected out of bounds. It'll be off of Josh Scott and stay with the Gothic Knights. 5:04 to go until halftime. They'll have 14 seconds on the shot clock. LeVron Green will trigger it in right beside Justin Scott, head coach for Arcadia. This is his first NCAA tournament appearance, also the first one for the Knights as a program. This is certainly a battle of a traditional power and what at least Arcadia is hoping to be a newfound power. NJCU all-time has 21 NCAA tournament appearances. Arcadia, this is just their first. So the Arcadia Knights, the new kids on the block. NJCU certainly used to what the big dance is all about. We're going to have a foul call on NJCU's Jeff Haddock Jr.
His second.
That'll be his second. And well into the bonus. So 2 free throws for Arcadia is going to the line. Will be their number 3, Josh Scott. Scott, a 6'3" senior guard from Darby, Pennsylvania. Averaging 13 points per contest. Tonight he has 5. He is a perfect 3 of 3 from the free throw line. First one good for Scott. We've been keeping an eye on those shooting percentages. NJCU still just at 21% from the floor. That's 6 of 29. They're 2 of 9 from 3. Arcadia 8 of 15. 0 of 2 from three-point land. So still yet to have a made 3 as Arcadia. Now they are certainly an inside-oriented team, but to be 0 from 3 is not good at this point. Arcadia was 6th out of 17 programs in the Middle Atlantic Conference in three-point shooting. They averaged 34%. By comparison, NJCU was also 6th in the NJAC. Now that's out of 10 teams. They shoot 33%. It's an interesting scenario if you're someone not familiar, perhaps an NJCU fan or just a Division III basketball fan in general, as that's going to be an offensive foul called on the Gothic Knights. Arcadia is in the Middle Atlantic Conference. The Middle Atlantic Conference, though, is divided into essentially 2 different, that are completely separate entities, conferences, the MAC Freedom and the MAC Commonwealth Conference. Both of those conferences have auto bids to the NCAA tournament. The auto bid from the MAC Freedom Conference is DeSales. That is the first made 3-point basket for Arcadia. Steve Pendleton drains it from deep. He spotted up in the left corner and hit it. Brings the Arcadia lead out to 13 as they're up now 30-17. Timeout called by Arcadia. We will keep it here, though. As I was discussing, the Middle Atlantic Conference is divided into the MAC Freedom and MAC Commonwealth Conference, and they both get automatic bids. DeSales, the winner of the MAC Freedom Conference, they are also in the NCAA tournament. So it's essentially 2 different conferences from the standpoint of the NCAA and how those bids are awarded. There is some crossover play, but the tournaments are separated, and both award their own auto bids to the NCAA tournament. So a bit of an interesting scenario if you're not familiar with it. Certainly worth some research at halftime, perhaps, to take a look at some of the programs in those conferences and really how that works. But Arcadia comes in as the champions of the MAC Commonwealth Conference. On the season, Arcadia is 2-3 versus teams in the NCAA tournament field. They won over DeSales. DeSales, as we mentioned, the winner of the MAC Freedom Conference. They also won over Gwinnett Mercy, the Pool B entrant to the tournament. And they lost to Swarthmore, Rosemont, and Salisbury. Arcadia starting out hot, though, tonight, and they're up by 13. That is their largest lead so far of the contest. NJCU is yet to have a lead at all for this game. Gothic Knights, though, will have the ball off the inbounds and bringing it across the timeline. Graylin Virine, freshman point guard for NJCU. Arcadia thought they had a turnover, but instead it'll be a foul called on Arcadia's Josh Scott. That is his first,
Team 9th.
and the 9th now team foul for Arcadia. So going to the line will be Denzel Banks, 1-1 for him. Banks too strong on the free throw. He averages 12 points per contest so far tonight, though. He's been held scoreless, 0 of 1 from the floor, just 4 minutes for Banks. Getting into the lane, hoisting up the shot is Will Durr. It's blocked, but getting too much body is Sam Toney for NJCU.
Jersey City foul.
Will Durr will get free throws. He is just a 46% free throw shooter, though. As I was preparing for the game and writing down some of the stats, it's something that you will rarely see. He has the same shooting percentage from the free throw line that he does from the floor, both at 46%. Looked pretty good on that first one, though, and Durr will get one more attempt. He's a 6'5" junior forward from Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. Second one also in there, looking a lot better than his approximate 50% average would make you think. Wide open three missed for Toney. He has struggled from the floor so far tonight. Just 1 of 10 overall, 0 of 4 from 3, only 2 points.
Josh Scott.
Driving and scoring, Josh Scott, and this one keeps tilting the direction of Arcadia. If NJCU can't stop the bleeding, there's a potential to really have this be a big-time deficit at halftime. Another miss for the Gothic Knights, and they are visibly frustrated at their scoring struggles. Steve Pendleton, head and shoulder fake on the left side, and it's going to be stolen away. Getting all the way to the hoop and missing it is Virine. Arcadia basketball. My, oh my, NJCU cannot buy a bucket even from close range right now. And Arcadia content to run their offense with 2:44 to go until halftime. Ball tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with Arcadia.
Jersey City, number 1.
A couple subs for
Number 24.
NJCU as Worthy will sub back in. Their floor general, 5'7" point guard from Trenton. Out top for Arcadia, it's Kyle Riley. As he's being guarded by the shorter Denzel Banks for NJCU. Now driving from the right wing is Riley. He will send it out. Pendleton's 3-ball missed. Board for the Gothic Knights. They'll take it across the midcourt line as Worthy passes it off to Banks. Now back to Worthy in the right corner. He'll operate against Pendleton, feed it into the paint. That is Toney, and he's going to be fouled. NJCU keeps feeding their big fella, Sam Toney. He is just 1 of 11 now from the floor, 0 of 5 from three-point range, but he is arguably their best player. 16 points, 7.5 rebounds per game. Those are both not only the team lead, but among the tops in the NJAC. He's the 4th leading scorer in the conference, 3rd leading rebounder. Also NJCU's leader in blocks, but he has been keyed in on and held largely ineffective by this solid post team in Arcadia. Tony gets that free throw to rattle home. One more for Tony as Evan Sloan checks in for Arcadia.
Jersey City,
LeBron Green will also sub for NJCU. Richardson will catch a break. Tony, an 84% free throw shooter, gets that one to go. Brings the score to 34-19, a 15-point advantage as we approach 2 minutes to go until halftime. Important last couple minutes for NJCU. They have the ability to go on a mini run and perhaps try to get back a bit more into this ball game before heading into halftime. That's going to help. Traveling violation assessed to Arcadia's Evan Sloan. It'll be Gothic Knight basketball with 1 minute 54 seconds left on the clock. Denzel Banks was getting some instructions from his head coach, Mark Brown, in his 12th season at NJCU. Now calling out the play will be Worthy. He will head to his right, pass it off to Banks. Attempting to set a pick as Tony. Banks gets to the free throw line, raises, fires, and scores. Denzel Banks, their second leading scorer. Those his first 2 points of this contest, though. Out top for Arcadia, it's Jordan Sanders. Passes it over to Pendleton on the right wing. Straight away now, Josh Scott. Scott gets it to Riley. Now Pendleton at the free throw line, passes it off. Bucket scored by Evan Sloan, and boy oh boy has he been a good-looking post player so far. Evan Sloan, the 6'6 senior from Souderton, Pennsylvania, already with 8 points on the night. That's second to the 9 points that Josh Scott has for Arcadia. Now we'll have a quick foul call as Arcadia rushed it down the floor. And it'll be a Jersey City foul on Denzel Banks. Banks is second. 2 free throws coming for NJCU. They're down 15.
2 shots.
With 53 seconds to go. Excuse me, I believe I said free throws for NJCU. Free throws obviously for Arcadia,
Jersey City, number 10.
who is ahead 36-21. First one is missed. Steve Pendleton had that one. Subbing in for Arcadia, number 23, Darren James. His first action of the evening. Sloan will rest up before halftime. Second free throw perfect for Pendleton.
Also back for Arcadia, John Lott, replacing Pendleton.
John Lott will sub for Pendleton. 5 on the floor for Arcadia: Scott, Lott, James, Sanders, and Riley. NJCU ball getting to the free throw line. Jump shot missed for LeBron Green. Rebound for Arcadia. They will slow it up. Can't take the last shot, but can bleed a lot of this clock as there's 23 on the shot clock and 33 on the game clock. About a 10-second differential. Dribbling it out by the Marietta Pioneer logo is Josh Scott. We mentioned he is their leading scorer with 9 points. He's going to be bumped as he gets to around the free throw line, and 2 free throws are coming off that foul by Shaquan Worthy.
Jersey City foul number 1, Shaquan Worthy, his third.
That is Worthy's third foul.
At the line for
and free throws for Josh Scott, who has 9 points and can move that into double digits with this free throw. He does so. Scott now 6 of 6 from the free throw line after that make. One more shot as there are 16.6 ticks left until halftime. Scott's second one, good. Van Johnson Arena dead quiet. That's not uncommon in these neutral site sort of games when played on the road like this one at another school's gym. Good crowds though, gotta say, for both these teams. Under 5 to go, steal by Arcadia, getting to the hoop. Scott can't get it to fall. heaving up a long one. It's not that far away from the bucket as LeBron Green, but it won't go. At halftime, our score 39-21 in favor of Arcadia. It's been all Arcadia, really, for most of this first half. The Knights shooting 55%, 11 of 20, and New Jersey City just 19%, 7 of 36. We will step aside for about 10 minutes here at halftime, come back with some scores around the NCAA tournament, also certainly take you through what transpired in this first half, some stats as we dive deeper into NJCU and Arcadia in this NCAA tournament first round matchup. Arcadia 39, NJCU 21. This is NCAA Championship Basketball.
They got the reason, they got so much to care for.
Sloan, 1 foul, 8 points. Phil Murphy, 2 fouls. Jaquan Davis, 2 fouls, 5 points. Josh Scott, 1 foul, 11 points. John Locke, 2 points. Jordan Saunders, 1 foul. Kyle Riley, 1 foul, 3 points. Will Durr, 2 fouls, 2 points. Steve Pendleton, 8 points for a total of 10 and 39. In the first half, Arcadia shot 55% from the field, 25% from three-point range, and 76% from the line. For New Jersey City, James Julius, 2 fouls, 3 points. Yuri Brutus, 2 fouls, 4 points. Sam Toney, 1 foul, 4 points. LeBron Green, 3 points. Shaquan Worthy, 3 fouls. Denzel Banks, 2 fouls, 2 points. James Richardson, 1 foul. Braylon Marine, 1 foul. Sal Pierre, 1 foul, 2 points. Jeff Haddock Jr., 2 fouls, 3 points. Glenn Bates, 1 foul for a total of 16 and 21. In the first half, Jersey City shot 19% from the field, 18% from three-point range, and 62% from the line.
Welcome back to Ban Johnson Arena on the gorgeous campus of Marietta College in southeastern Ohio. We're at halftime. Arcadia is on top of New Jersey City University, 39-21. It has been all Arcadia in this first half. And NJCU will have to mount a big comeback if they want to stay in this contest and earn a win to move on in the big dance. The D3 Hoops Tournament is underway all throughout the nation. We will take you around, do some scores right now as we check in at the various sites that have started play. A lot of scores right now. DeSales up on York, 37-22. That one's being played at Randolph-Macon. Wheaton of Illinois up 33-21 on Hanover. That's being played here in Ohio up at Worcester. Score of interest to Marietta Pioneer fans and those around the OAC as Baldwin Wallace is ahead of Salisbury 29-26. That's at Oswego State. Gwinnett Mercy, the Pool B berth, and always a dangerous team. They had a big upset over Marietta several years ago, and they're ahead of Plattsburgh State right now, 25-22. So far, all of these games mid to late in the first half of play. Middlebury 33 up on Nichols with just 30. Nichols is ranked 14th in the country. Moravian leading Keene State 30-29. Again, all of these with about between 5 to 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Score of interest to those around Ohio. Wittenberg 41 over Emory 39. That is at Guilford. That's a battle of Wittenberg, who's the number 17 team in the country. Emory is number 18, so expect that one to be a very good contest. Amherst leading Rosemont. That is 31-22. That game being played at Rochester. MIT up on Skidmore, 35-25. That game is at Swarthmore. MIT ranks 12th in the country. Those are all of the games going on right now. A whole bunch of games slated to start at 6:30, including Albion and Loras, Wisconsin Lacrosse, and St. Thomas. Wisconsin Lacrosse, kind of the surprise team in the NCAA Tournament field. Lake Forest and Wisconsin Oshkosh, UW Platteville, and Capital from the OAC. Those are the four games that will tip off at 6:30. Back to our contest at hand. Again, Arcadia leading NJCU 39-21. Checking in on our stats. And like I said, it's been all Arcadia really across the board. Arcadia shooting 11 of 20. That's 55%. Just 1 of 4 from 3, but they haven't needed a lot of threes. And quite frankly, it is an inside-oriented team to begin with. Leading the way for Arcadia is Josh Scott. He has 11 points. After that, 8 apiece for Sloan and Pendleton. 5 for Daquan Davis. 2 for Lott and Durr. Playing but not scoring, Pierfy, James, and Sanders. Phil Pierfy, their second leading scorer. He averages 13.5 points. He was saddled with 2 early fouls and rode the bench for the rest of the way in that first half. Just 6 minutes for Pierfy. Have to expect he'll be a big part of what they do in the second half and adds an even more of an inside presence for this already very solid inside team in Arcadia. So that's something that NJCU will have to factor in to their game plan for the second half. For the Gothic Knights of New Jersey City, not a lot of scoring to go around. It's been fairly balanced, but overall, 7 of 36 from the floor. That is a mere 19%. 2 of 11 from 3. That's 18%. 4 points apiece for Brutus and Tony. But Sam Toney, who's their leading scorer and rebounder, is just 1 of 11 from the floor and 0 of 5 from deep. He does have 5 rebounds, so still been affecting things on that side of the basketball. Yuri Brutus also has 4, 3 apiece for Green and Julius, as well as Haddock. 2 for Banks and Pierre. Playing but not scoring, Worthy, Bates, Richardson, and Vereen. Rebounding-wise, we said that is a huge strength for Arcadia as they average on the season +8 in rebounding margin. They're +2 right now, 22 to 20, and that includes NJCU getting a whole ton of offensive rebounds. Offensive rebounds 11 to 2 in favor of New Jersey City. 4 assists on 7 made shots for NJCU, 4 assists on 11 made shots for Arcadia. Arcadia's had more transition and one-on-one though, and certainly a lot of action in the paint as well. Points in the paint, 18 to 8 in favor of Arcadia. When you look at some keys for NJCU, one in the second half has to be forcing turnovers. They're +5.5 on turnover margin this season. Right now, they're just +1. Arcadia has 7, NJCU has 6. And they have got to improve their shooting, particularly from long distance. Arcadia's defensive strength is in the inside. From 3, Arcadia is letting teams shoot 35%, and that is 14th out of 17 teams in the Middle Atlantic Conference. So three-point defense, not a strength for Arcadia, but so far NJCU has been unable to capitalize on that. Despite 11 shots from long distance, they've only made 2. We are underway in the second half. It's Arcadia basketball as they attack the basket to our left. And Evan Sloan opens things up in the second half, same as he did in the first half. Wide open layup from the right side, off the glass and down. Evan Sloan for Arcadia has 10 points. He is second to Josh Scott. Tony with the quick answer for NJCU. And now showing full court press are the Gothic Knights. Ball is poked out of bounds. Just 1 second transpiring on the shot clock. And Arcadia will once again trigger the inbounds. It is stolen away. Ball bounced around. NJCU gets it, and putting the layup down is Yuri Brutus. Brutus now with 6 points. Full court press affecting these Knights of Arcadia. We talked about turnovers, turnovers, turnovers. That's a bread and butter of NJCU. They need to start forcing more here in the second half. 41-25 our score. And NJCU needs to go on a run here in the early going to prove they can hang with Arcadia. Josh Scott, that is a wide open boulevard to the bucket. He drove baseline left, kissed it off the glass and down. Scoring there is James Julius for NJCU. More full court press being shown by NJCU as Arcadia brings it down the floor. It's going to be a shot at the bucket for Pearfrey. He was blocked though by Tony, and Tony will be fouled as he brings it down the floor.
Arcadia foul number 3, Josh Scott, his second team first.
That foul called on Josh Scott, his second. Arcadia's first of the second half, first for either team. NJCU basketball, 18-10 to go in this contest, 43-27, the Arcadia lead. And really, no matter what New Jersey City does, Arcadia seems to have a quick answer. NJCU, though, 3 of 4 in their last 4 from the floor, so perhaps starting to find their range, as that's another made bucket for Yuri Brutus. He backed down his defender, spun around, got it off the glass. More full court press. Suspect we will see this most of the second half for NJCU as they try to scratch and claw their way into this game. The end result, though, has been some open Arcadia players once they break that pressure. Step back shot, Josh Scott, and he scores it. Josh Scott has been on fire for Arcadia. 13 points, 4 of 7 shooting. He is 0 of 1 from 3, but 7 of 7 from the free throw line. Josh Scott getting it done from the floor and the charity stripe. He shoots 43% on the season overall. ISO plays, step back, made jumper. James Julius, NJCU finding their range. But they'll have to get some defensive stops on Arcadia in order to get back into this ball game. 14-point lead for the Knights of Arcadia. That lead has been as many as 20. That was in the early going here of the second half at 41-21. Long three ball hoisted up and scored. Josh Scott. Oh my, Josh Scott is absolutely unconscious from the floor right now. Now with 18 points, he averages 13. Defense implores some of the Arcadia fans that made the trip from over in eastern Pennsylvania. They're on top by 17, 48-31. Shaquan Worthy, right wing from New Jersey City, sends it out top to Brutus. He'll drive with the left hand, send it out, just 3 on the shot clock. Green will have to make something happen, and he was not aware of where the timer was. LeVron Green dribbled it out as the shot clock expired. He was trying to find some open space and could not do so against this strangling Arcadia defense. Media timeout is 48-31 our score. Arcadia over New Jersey City. And we talked about that Arcadia defense in all 17 teams that comprise the Middle Atlantic Conference. That includes the MAC Commonwealth and the MAC Freedom. They are number 1 in defense, giving up just 68 points per game. They're also number 1 in overall field goal percentage defense, as teams shoot just 40% against them. Defense is the calling card of these Arcadia Knights, and they are letting it be known on a national stage here this evening in the NCAA Tournament. NJCU shooting now just 29% from the floor. That's up from 26% at halftime, but 12 of 41 just is not going to get the job done. 2 of 11 from 3, and they are 5 of 8 from the free throw line. Arcadia, 15 of 25 from the floor, 2 of 5 from 3, but as we said, they haven't needed a lot of three-pointers as they've been getting it done in the paint. Perhaps most notably, they are 16 of 21 from the free throw line. So 21 free throw attempts for Arcadia, just 8 for NJCU. But a lot of that has to do with how aggressive Arcadia has been driving to the bucket and also forcing it inside to their bigs. Leading the way for Arcadia, 18 points for Josh Scott, 10 for Evan Sloan, 8 also for Steve Pendleton. Yuri Brutus leading the way for NJCU. After that, James Julius has 7, and Sam Toney has 6. But Toney, their leading scorer, just 2 of 12 from the floor. Near turnover for NJCU. Instead, it results in an open 3, and draining it is James Julius. What a big-time 3 for James Julius. Badly needed by NJCU. It's 48-34, a 14-point lead for Arcadia. That was not a heads-up play by Shaquan Worthy. Ball was going into the backcourt. It would have been an over and back call. Instead, he went after it and tried to save it back in. There may have been some confusion on the floor as to if it would have been over and back, but Arcadia was content to let it roll out of bounds.
Arcadia foul number 24, Evans.
End result, though, is an Arcadia foul, so NJCU gets bailed out. And they'll have a chance to bring it down the floor and cut this Arcadia lead below 14. 48-34. Lead has been as many as 20 points. NJCU managing to hang around as we have 15-18 on the running second half clock. Worthy on the left wing sends it to Brutus. Now down low it's Toney. He will work against Pierfrey, and Pierfrey picks up foul number 3.
Arcadia foul 42, Phil Pierfrey is third.
3 fouls for Arcadia, none so far on NJCU. And Pierfrey will sub out as Kyle Riley will now check in for Arcadia. Phil Pierfrey, Arcadia's second leading scorer, their leading rebounder, but he has been held on the bench for much of this evening as he got 2 quick fouls in the first half, now picks up his 3rd foul. And Justin Scott has seen Arcadia be largely effective with Pierfrey on the bench, so he's content to let him sit for a while, make sure he doesn't pick up a 4th foul, and hopefully have Pierfrey available for the stretch run of this game in case things get close. Some clock issues as our officials head to the scorers table. They will confer with the staff there, and now getting an explanation is Justin Scott, head coach for Arcadia. Scott also discussing the call that was made on Pier Free, signaling that it should have been a charge quite demonstratively.
Arcadia foul was on number 3, Josh Scott. That makes his third.
There has been a correction now on the foul. So perhaps some of Scott's pleading worked, as that foul has been assessed to Scott. Josh Scott, who's been the leading scorer for Arcadia. New Jersey City basketball, just 5 on the shot clock. In the left corner, hoisting up the 3, Tony missed, and we're going to get a foul on the floor.
Arcadia.
It'll be assessed to Arcadia's Jordan Sanders. That's now 4 fouls on Arcadia, none for New Jersey City. Tony gets the inbounds. He will pass it off to Green. Now Julius, left wing. He'll feed it down low to Brutus. Brutus tries to create some space with a pass fake. Able to do so, turns around and scores it. Yuri Brutus with a big-time take down low. And for Brutus, that's now 10 points, tying James Julius. Those are for the NJCU lead, them both having 10 points. Full court pressure, and it's going to be a foul on NJCU. James Julius picks up this one, his third. So some foul trouble for Julius of NJCU. Arcadia gets the inbounds, but full court pressure providing some problems. Able to break it is John Lott. Arcadia will slow it up as Jordan Sanders passes it left wing to Daquan Davis. Post left, Evan Sloan will work and miss the shot, but he's fouled by Yuri Brutus.
Jersey City foul.
Evan Sloan, a 6'6" senior from Souderton, Pennsylvania. Second leading scorer tonight for Arcadia with 10 points. He averages 10 for the season.
24, Evan Sloan, 2 shots.
Sloan, a 76% free throw shooter. That one rims out. His first free throw attempt of the night is a miss. He'll get one more as the 6'6" senior dribbles, eyes the bucket, and makes it. A very veteran squad for Arcadia. Overall, they have 8 seniors and 4 juniors, Sloan being one of those seniors. And when you've got a team with that many veterans on the floor at one time, especially in their first ever NCAA tournament appearance, they're going to be highly motivated to get the victory. Not saying that NJCU is not, certainly. It's a veteran team as well, but Arcadia, this is all brand new to them, and they've come out looking quite poised and confident. NJCU, their last 3 trips to the NCAA tournament, they have not gotten a victory, and perhaps coming out a little bit more tight were the Gothic Knights. Not to mention also travel, certainly an important component. NJCU is about 490 miles away. That's a 10-hour bus ride and then some, certainly including stops. And they got in just last night. It was a running joke sort of on Twitter what time they would get in. I was watching the D3Hoops.com Hoopsville show, some of it yesterday evening, and they were talking about, has NJCU made it yet to Marietta? So certainly that sort of long bus ride can cause some issues. Arcadia on the fast break and going up for the two-handed rim rocker, Kyle Riley, the 6'5" senior from Fulton, Maryland. Momentum back into the hands of Arcadia with that fast break attempt. NJCU gets the answer though. Yuri Brutus will not let the Gothic Knights go away quietly. NJCU takes a timeout it's going to be extended to a full timeout. 51-38. NJCU hanging tough despite a very poor shooting night so far. We will step aside for a short break and be right back to Ban Johnson Arena. This is Pioneer Basketball.
In the arena, we will be clearing out the arena between ball games, just as a reminder. Thank you.
Exactly 13 minutes to go in this contest, and Arcadia leads New Jersey City 51-38. Arcadia shooting 16 of 27 from the floor. That's 59%. NJCU just 15 of 47, 31% for them, but that has ticked up from 26% at halftime. NJCU has been showing full court press the entirety of the second half. Arcadia able to break it there, and they'll attack on the basket to our left. That's going to be a New Jersey City foul called on Yuri Brutus. Correction, James Julius. The referee was holding up a 1 and a 4 in his hands, not a 1 and a 5. I apologize for that. James Julius hit with the foul, and that's important because that is 4 personal fouls on Julius. He'll sub out, and he has 10 points. He's 4 of 7 from the floor, one of the few Gothic Knights that's been getting the job done on offense. Shot clock reset to 20 for Arcadia, and they just throw it away, stealing it and driving all the way to the hoop, LeVron Green. And don't look now, but it's just an 11-point advantage for Arcadia. This full-court press has gradually gotten some turnovers off of Arcadia. Now 11 turnovers for Arcadia, 8 for New Jersey City. Sloan attempted, or thought about attempting at least, a hook shot. Instead, he'll pass it back out top. Long three taken by Kyle Riley. It's missed. Riley, a 41% three-point shooter. Very impressive for the 6'5 senior. NJCU has a turnover of their own, and it will be Arcadia basketball.
Replacing John Lott.
12:04 to go. Both teams trade turnovers.
Richardson back in for
NJCU
Green.
with several subs as their head coach Mark Brown tries to keep his players fresh for this stretch run. Also trying to find some sort of combination that'll get it done on offense. NJCU struggling mightily. We talked about that long bus trip. That can impact you, especially on the shooting end of things, and it's done so tonight. Outstanding steal by Daquan Davis for Arcadia. He was skying out of bounds, able to save it back in. On the other end, three ball missed by Steve Pendleton from the right wing for Arcadia. NJCU basketball, both teams a little cold right now from the floor. Arcadia scoreless in the last minute, 45 seconds. Getting to the hoop with the scooping layup, Denzel Banks, it's missed. And on the other end, quickly, Kyle Riley kisses it off the glass and down. Now a 13-point advantage for Arcadia, and we're going to get a timeout call.
Timeout, Arcadia.
This timeout taken by Arcadia, and this will also double as our under 12 media timeout. We will step aside and be right back to Ban Johnson Arena here on the campus of Marietta College. This is NCAA Championship Basketball. It's a battle of the night, a joust, if you will, inside Banjo. And the Knights of Arcadia getting the best so far of the Gothic Knights of New Jersey City University, 53-40. Arcadia on top with 11:22 to go in this game. This was the very first game of the NCAA Division III Men's Basketball Tournament, and we're proud to have you with us. We've had some outstanding viewership numbers so far, and they just keep going up as this game progresses. Missing the shot for NJCU is Denzel Banks. Lots of players fight for the board. Arcadia comes away with it as Daquan Davis will now slow things up, wait for some friends, and reset the Arcadia offense. Gets a pick from Evan Sloan. Sloan rolls down into the paint. He now has it on the left side. Gets to the OAC logo, hoists up a shot. It's missed, but another NJCU foul. This one on Denzel Banks. For Banks, that is his second, now the team's fourth. Both teams now have 4 fouls total. Evan Sloan will get 2 free throws. Sloan, 1 of 2 on the night. From the free throw line, he has 11 points overall, make it 12 as he makes that first free throw. He is, get this though, folks, 5 of 5 from the floor. Sloan yet to miss. He is the top shooter in all of the Middle Atlantic Conference, though. 66% from the floor. So that's not out of the ordinary for Evan Sloan, but it's only 66%, not 100%. He is yet to miss from the floor this evening. Connects on both free throws, and quickly we're going to have an off-ball foul on Arcadia's Jordan Sanders.
Team 5th.
That's Sanders' third, so he will sub out. 5 team fouls for Arcadia.
Number 3, Josh Scott.
And Arcadia up by 15, but they have a couple players in some foul trouble. 3 for Sanders, 3 for Pierfy, who's been on the bench a whole bunch, and also 3 for Josh Scott, who's their leading scorer. Really, though, no matter what the combination's been on the floor for Arcadia, it's been very effective, particularly on the defensive end. Saying enough is enough, though. Shaquan Worthy, nice little reverse layup for him, and that cuts the Arcadia lead to 13. Knights break the press, and they will set up a play against this Gothic Knight defense. Back into the game, Phil Pierfy, who, as we said, has been saddled with foul trouble for the vast majority of this contest. Jump stop, shot no good. Daquan Davis, rebound for the Gothic Knights. They have a chance to cut it to just an 11 or 10-point deficit. Instead, dribbling it out of bounds, Denzel Banks, and that is that strangling Arcadia defense, yet again having an impact, forcing a turnover. We mentioned how NJCU had started to chip into and create, in fact, a turnover advantage. Now it's all knotted up, 11-11. Both these teams have 11 turns on the night. As tough as that Arcadia's defense has been, get the sense they're even ratcheting it up a notch or two as we head down the stretch. And especially now with under 10 minutes to go, Phil Pierfy, who's one of their best players overall and one of their top defenders, certainly in the paint, he has 3 fouls, but have to think he'll be in the contest most of the rest of the way. That is some textbook ball movement from Arcadia, and the shot is made by Evan Sloan, who's now 6 of 6 from the floor. So your Sloan tracker for the night, still, he's perfect, 6 of 6. 3-ball left corner, scoring it, Sam Toney. Sam Toney, that is his first made 3-pointer, 1 of 7 from 3-point land. He is 3 of 14 from the floor. Toney has struggled mightily overall. Breaking the press is Arcadia, and that is the first miss from the floor for Evan Sloan. Had a rather easy layup, but closing quickly on the defense was NJCU. He heard some footsteps. I don't think the Gothic Knights got a piece of it, but they were there enough to affect the shot, certainly. Now we're going to have Shaquan Worthy falling to the floor.
Jersey City foul number 1, Shaquan Worthy.
And they're going to get him for a foul. That is his 4th personal foul. So as much as we've talked about Arcadia's foul trouble, in fact, it's now NJCU that has the lion's share of foul trouble themselves, as James Julius has 4, and now Shaquan Worthy also has 4, and that's important. Worthy's their floor general. James Julius, their second leading scorer tonight with 10 points. Getting the steal there, though, is Graylin Vereen for New Jersey City. That's going to lead to a wide open 3. LeVron Green, no. Ball goes out of bounds and will head the way of Arcadia. 57-45, a 12-point lead for Arcadia with 8 minutes, 14 seconds remaining in this contest. More full court press for NJCU, broken quite easily there by Steve Pendleton and the Knights of Arcadia. Arcadia works it around the perimeter, now back to Pendleton out top, over to Josh Scott, left wing, he'll angle to his left, drive, and kiss it off the glass. Josh Scott now with an even 20 points on the night to lead the way for Arcadia. He averages 13, that's 3rd on the Knights. Sam Toney not to be denied as he drives and gets it to go down with the bank. Arcadia has to hurry it in. Count was on for the 5-second call. They do so, and it'll be a NJCU foul on Graylin Vereen.
Jersey City foul number 3, James Richardson.
Correction, they're going to get James Richardson. Jalen Vereen thought it was on him and expressed some frustration. Instead, it was an off-ball foul on James Richardson. 12-point lead for the Knights of Arcadia over the Gothic Knights of New Jersey City as we are in the first round of the NCAA Division III Men's Basketball Championship. We will keep it here. Do a quick check of our stats. Arcadia still over 50% from the floor. On the year, they average shooting 46%. They're at 54% tonight, 19 of 35, just 2 of 8 from 3, but as we've talked about, they've gotten to the hoop so readily, they haven't needed to shoot free. Their aggressiveness has also led to free throws. They're 19 of 25, that's 76%. NJCU 35% from the floor, that has ticked up from just 26% at halftime. They're 19 of 54, a lot of second chance points, 13 offensive rebounds, but it hasn't resulted in more made shots. 4 of 15 from 3, 5 of 8 from the free throw line is New Jersey City. Rebounding, this is one of the more surprising stats of the game, favors NJCU, 29 to 26. Arcadia averaged being +8 per game in rebounding margin. Turnover-wise, 12 to 12. We are dead even, and that's a way that NJCU has won ball games all year. They average +5.5 in turnover margin, so their inability to force more than Arcadia hurting them this evening. Also, their shooting percentage, certainly from 3, a big detriment as well. Arcadia is not known for strong three-point defense. Their strength in the paint, they are 14th overall in the Middle Atlantic Conference out of 17 teams in three-point defense. No matter tonight, as NJCU has been ice cold at 26%. We talked about they had a long bus ride, 10+ hours from over by New York City. That may be affecting their legs in this game. The rule for NCAA Division III is the NCAA will pay for a flight if you are over 500 miles away. NJCU, if you're curious, is about 493 miles away. So they are right under that threshold, had to bus it over to Marietta, and that is one long trip. Long one for Arcadia too, but they have about 2 less hours, and I believe got in significantly earlier than the Gothic Knights did as well. This shot for New Jersey City, another board for Arcadia, as now John Lotz has it out top. Pick and roll ran by Evan Sloan, nothing there. Instead in the corner, it's going to be Phil Peerfree firing up a shot. No. Rebound for NJCU and LeVron Green. will pass it off to Tony on the left wing. Tony behind the back dribble. Boy, does he have good ball handling skills for a big fella. And we're going to get an Arcadia foul.
Arcadia foul number 24, Evan Sloan, his second.
Evan Sloan,
Team 6.
his second foul. Sixth now on Arcadia. So next one will mean free throws for NJCU. Right here, 2 shots for Tony as he was in the act of shooting. First one good. Tony is an 84%er from the line.
Kyle Riley, DeQuan Davis replacing.
Kyle Riley will sub in for Arcadia. Also checking in DeQuan Davis. 59-48 our score. NJCU keeps hanging around. They have a chance to cut it to 10 with this free throw, and they do. Big time make from Sam Tony, and New Jersey City continues to show full court press. They back off a bit there, now reinstitute it. Kyle Riley out by the Marietta Pioneer logo will pass it away to John Lott. Lott gets it to Daquan Davis. Now to Pendleton, over to Riley. Josh Scott on the left side. He's been the leading scorer for the Knights. He's going to go one-on-one. Might have been fouled, and he was. Could have been a foul or a travel. Tony is incredulous about that call. And it's going to be on Tony. It's his second, and the team's 7th. So free throws the rest of the way for Arcadia.
Line for Arcadia, number 3, Josh Scott, 1-1.
Josh Scott, who has seemingly been at the line all night, will get 1-1. He is 7 of 7 so far today, 77% at the free throw line. 7s are wild for Josh Scott. Makes that one more coming, and a chance to move the lead back to 12 for Arcadia. Every time that NJCU seemingly gets it to where it can get below double digits, Arcadia has an answer. And typically it's been in the form of driving to the hoop and some pretty darn good ball movement. Josh Scott, one dribble, and it's missed. His first free throw miss of the evening, now 8 of 9. As we said, he's a 77%er. Turnover for New Jersey City. Kyle Riley will bring it down the floor and now send it back out top as Arcadia slows it down. 5:39 to go, and they are up 11, not to the point where you're going to bleed the clock too much, but certainly getting into that time period. Phil Pierfy, count it, and the foul. He muscled up the shot from the low right block, and he'll get a chance to add one more from the free throw line. Pierfy, a 69% free throw shooter. He's been held relatively quiet tonight. That was his first made basket. He has just 2 points on 1 of 3 shooting from the floor. And only 16 minutes for Pierfy, as he has been saddled with foul trouble really from about 6 minutes on to go in the first half. Pierfy makes that one. And you have to think he'll be on the floor the rest of the way until this one is in hand. Just 3 personal fouls after he picked up a quick 2 again in those first 6 minutes of the game. Long 3 dialed up and missed for Jeff Haddock Jr. And it's going to be a quick foul on Sam Tony. That's Tony's 3rd. He had just 1 about 30 seconds ago. He's picked up 2 very quick ones. Heading to the line will be John Lott for Arcadia. And if you're a New Jersey City fan, this is exactly what you did not want to see, is Arcadia having a chance to inflate this lead with being at the free throw line. Break for the Gothic Knights as Lott misses that first one from the charity stripe. Tony, long 3 right side, and he scores it. Triple for Sam Tony. And JCU continues to hang around. 63-52, an 11-point advantage, and that's going to be another foul on Tony. He's trying to contain his frustration right now. You could tell he was this close to saying something he shouldn't to the official. That one looked like a pretty obvious foul as the Arcadia player fell to the ground, and Josh Scott, guess who, back to the free throw line where he will have 2 shots. Scott is 8 of 9 so far this evening. Van Johnson dead quiet as that one tickles the twine and goes down. 64-52, a 12-point advantage. Make it 13 as Scott drains his second free throw.
Back for Jersey City,
James Julius with 4 personal fouls will check in for Yuri Brutus for NJCU. 65-52 as we're just under 5 minutes, and if New Jersey City's got a run in them, it has got to start now for the Gothic Knights. Long three dialed up for Tony, and he hits it. Oh my. Hand in his face, NBA range. Sam Toney showing what he can do for NJCU. And the Gothic Knights dial up that full court pressure. It's broken though. Daquan Davis straight to the rack. Tony was there, but he has those 4 personal fouls. Can't really contest it. He knows that his team needs him on the floor for offense. Quick miss for Worthy. Rebound for Arcadia, and slowing it up will be Daquan Davis. Davis being harangued by Worthy on defense. Worthy trying to get the steal against the larger Davis. That's a 5'7" player on a 6'1" player. And Josh Scott, off the assist from Davis, scores it. 69-55, a 14-point Arcadia advantage. And with just 4 minutes left, this one's just about done and in the books for Arcadia. Taking a timeout will be NJCU's head coach, Mark Brown. That will result in the media timeout. We will keep it here. Quickly check in on our individual scoring stats. For Arcadia, Josh Scott, it's been his show. 25 points, 7 of 10 from the floor, 10 of 11 from the free throw line. The senior from Darby, Pennsylvania, stepping up in a big-time kind of way for Arcadia. Right behind him, Evan Sloan with 15 points, 4 rebounds also for him. 8 points for Steve Pendleton, 7 for Daquan Davis. Davis also has 7 rebounds though. After a very quiet first half where we just had 2 points, Sam Toney has broken things wide open in this second half. He has 19 points to lead the way for the Gothic Knights. That's on 6 of 18 from the floor. After that, 12 points for Yuri Brutus and 10 for James Julius. Rebounding in favor of NJCU, 32-29, and quite frankly, if you told me that stat in the pregame, I would have said that's a very good sign for NJCU, but unfortunately for them, Arcadia has been lights out shooting, and NJCU has been a little bit too little too late as far as heating up from the floor. They were shooting 26% overall at halftime. They're up now to 36%, but that's still below their season average, and they have not been able to take advantage of what is a rather pedestrian three-point defense for Arcadia. Just 6 of 19 are the Gothic Knights from 3. And as we've said, Arcadia allows teams to shoot 35% from 3. That is 14th out of 17 teams in the Middle Atlantic Conference. NJCU basketball, and they'll attack the basket to our right, the white-clad Gothic Knights. Tony down low, can't get the shot to go down, may have been tipped by an Arcadia player. Ball goes out of bounds off the rebound and will stay with NJCU. Ball never touched rim, and so the shot clock is at 10 seconds. Gothic Knights will have to hurry. Worthy triggering the inbounds right below the New Jersey City basket. Tony gets it. He's going to go one-on-one. Fadeaway shot off the back rim. No. Tip drill as Worthy comes in. He can't get it to fall. And streaking down the floor is Arcadia's Josh Scott. Shot is missed, but he's fouled, and guess what? Josh Scott back to the free throw line where he is 10 of 11 on the evening. Josh Scott with an absolutely outstanding performance. These are both senior-laden teams, and this time of year you need your seniors to step up and make senior plays, and Josh Scott has really stepped up for Arcadia in a huge manner, especially given that Phil Pierfy, who's their second leading scorer and top rebounder, has been saddled with foul trouble and missed much of the first half and a significant portion of the second half too. No matter, Scott has stepped up, and Evan Sloan as well has been a big difference maker for Arcadia. Second free throw is missed. 11 of 13 is Josh Scott from the free throw line tonight. Sam Toney lining up that three. No, ball goes out of bounds, and it's going to stay with NJCU. Officials say it's last touched by Kyle Riley of Arcadia. Bit of a groan from the Arcadia crowd in attendance. Crowd about 50-50, split between Arcadia and NJCU. Quite a few Marietta fans certainly here as well, taking in the action, hoping that the Pioneers will be able to take on the champion of this game. Winner of this contest will go on to play the winner of the Marietta-Maryville contest. That game will tip at 8 o'clock. So after this one, you'll have a chance to maybe go grab some dinner, but come right back and you can take in Marietta and Maryville.
Arcadia will be number 1.
Should be an outstanding contest. Maryville, certainly a traditional power of Division III basketball. They have 20 NCAA tournament appearances to their credit. And their head coach getting ready to retire after this season, but have to think that they are not going to go down quietly to the host Marietta Pioneers. At the free throw line for Arcadia is DeQuan Davis. Davis hits them both. Coming the other way, NJCU, quick miss from LeVron Green, rebound for Arcadia. And with the score 72-55 and just 3 minutes left, this one is certainly looking all Arcadia. Getting into the paint, firing off the glass and scoring, DeQuan Davis. Davis is their leading scorer coming in to tonight. So far this evening, he just has 11 points. His average is 16, but showing what a dangerous offensive weapon he is was Davis right there.
Jersey City foul, number 10, Jeff.
New Jersey City's Jeff Haddock hit with an offensive foul. It will go the way of Arcadia. New Jersey City certainly pressing the last couple minutes. They've been held scoreless for the last 2 minutes, 11 seconds. And much like in the first half, down the stretch, they have just not been able to get the shots to go down. Their shooting percentage now has fallen to 32% from the floor. And Arcadia will bleed out this clock a bit as they look to advance and play the winner of that Maryville-Marietta game. John Lott scores it with the lay-in. Lead is now up over 20, 76-55. We approach 2 minutes to go. Sam Toney trying to do what he can. He will kick it out. Long three coming. James Julius, air ball. Rebound for DeQuan Davis, and now Arcadia will really slow it down. For New Jersey City, certainly credit for an outstanding season. They finished number 2 in the Atlantic regional rankings and were also the number 1 seed in the NJAC tournament. They lost at home in the tournament championship to number 2 seed Rowan. Rowan, of course, also in the NCAA tournament field. That's a 2 for DeQuan Davis. Also in the NCAA tournament from the NJAC is Ramapo. They were one of those bubble teams and managed to get in. NJAC is a very good league. If you look at the Massey ratings, which are a computer rating system, encourage you to check it out. They're certainly interesting to follow. By no means the end-all, be-all of rankings, but certainly just one tool or metric to look at. NJAC is the number 14 rated Division III conference. That's out of 49 conferences. By comparison, for Arcadia in the MAC Commonwealth Conference, that is the number 31 rated D3 conference out of 49. NJAC has 3 teams in the tournament. The MAC Commonwealth just 1. They're automatic qualifiers. So on paper at least, certainly when you take a look at these conferences and also just at the seasons and rankings, New Jersey City came in as the favorite. They are, again, number 2 in the Atlantic region. Arcadia, number 5 in the Mid-Atlantic region. Those are 2 different regions for those that may be unfamiliar with how D3 basketball is ranked. On top of that, NJCU 6-6 against regional ranked opponents. That's a NCAA tournament criteria. Arcadia was just 1-2. And if you again check out those Massey ratings, Arcadia was at number 86. Second in their league was Hood at 154. So again, the league was not particularly strong this year. NJCU was the second-rated team in their league in those same ratings at 55. Rowan was number 44. I should say still is number 44 coming into action today. So, as I said, on paper, NJCU would have been a at least slight, if not more so, favorite in this contest. But as you often see in the Division III tournament, and really any sort of tournament of this nature, a single elimination, not dislike the Division I tournament, certainly also as well, crazy things happen, and Arcadia unquestionably was the better team this afternoon, and they've really led from the get-go. In fact, New Jersey City has not had a single lead all evening. 80-55 the score with just a minute 6 left and a lot of reserves on the court right now for both teams.
1 minute.
This will be a big-time victory for Arcadia. They have never been in the NCAA tournament prior to this season, and look at that. They're getting an NCAA tournament victory in their very first appearance. By comparison, NJCU is a veteran of the tournament. 21 all-time appearances. They have a record of 17-23 in those games. But their last 3 times out, they have been one and done. They lost to Union College last year, 76-72. That was in the first round up in Plattsburgh, New York. From the right side, 3 ball, that's missed for Zuriel Tercios. Denzel Banks with the putback bucket, though, for the Gothic Knights. 10-second differential shot clock and game clock, as there's just 35 seconds until this one is in the books. Keyshawn Patel dribbling out top for Arcadia. He will seek to pass it off to Justin Fleming. Now back to Patel. Patel gets it down low to Darren James, but it's going to be an offensive foul on Patel. So 22 and a half seconds left. 80-57. Arcadia on top, and NJCU will get at least one final crack at it. Tercios passes it off, now into the paint. It is stolen away. 12 seconds remaining. NJCU gets a steal. Getting into the lane, raising and firing, Denzel Banks. He scores it. And they will indeed count the basket. It was a late call from the officiating crew. But at the free throw line, Denzel Banks will have 1 shot. If he makes this, it'll be an even 20-point deficit, and he does so. 80-60, and that should be our final score as Arcadia will inbound it and almost certainly dribble it out. They do so as the clock ticks down to triple zeros. The final score in this NCAA Division III Men's Basketball Championship first round game, Arcadia 80, New Jersey City 60. And a big-time congratulations to Arcadia in their first ever appearance in the NCAA tournament, earning a victory. And certainly also a hearty congratulations to NJCU on an outstanding season. With the win, Arcadia improves to 23-5 on the year. NJCU falls to 20-8. That will be the final record for New Jersey City. Taking a look at statistics, leading the way for Arcadia with an amazing 26 points. Josh Scott, he averages 13, doubled up that average tonight. He was 7 of 10 from the floor, 1 of 2 from 3, and 11 of 13 from the free throw line. 15 points for Evan Sloan. He was 3 of 4 from the charity stripe. 13 points for Daquan Davis. He was 5 of 8 from the free throw line. 8 points for Steve Pendleton. 4 for Lott, 3 for Peerfree, 2 for Durr, 2 for Fleming, and also adding 7 was Kyle Riley. Playing and not scoring for Arcadia, Sanders, James, Remsen, Patel, and Williams. Arcadia overall was 59.5% from the floor, 22% from three, and 28 of 37 from the free throw line. For New Jersey City, by comparison, they were 32% from the floor, 23 of 72. Tons of attempts, just not a lot of made shots for the Gothic Knights. 6 of 25 from the floor and 8 of 11, from three and 8 of 11 from the free throw line. Leading the way, it was a late charge for Sam Toney. Just had 2 points in the first half. He finished with 19. 12 points for Yuri Brutus, 10 for James Julius. Those are the only Gothic Knights in double figures. After that, Green had 5, Worthy had 2, Haddock with 3, 7 for Banks, and Pierre also had 2. Playing and not scoring, Tercios, Bates, Richardson, and Vereen. Rebounding-wise, NJCU had 37, 36 for Arcadia. That was a lot closer than you might have expected. Arcadia has dominated opponents all year. Rebounding. Turnovers, 17 for Arcadia, 15 for NJCU. So really, you take a look at those stats, a lot of it just comes down to shooting. When you're almost 60% from the floor like Arcadia is, that is very, very hard to beat. New Jersey City struggled early on in the first half shooting, never really recovered until about midway through the second half, but at that point, it was too little, too late for the Gothic Knights. One strength that they can take away, 17 offensive rebounds for New Jersey City to just 2 for Arcadia. Defensive rebounds, though, dominated by Arcadia. Points in the paint, also dominated by Arcadia, 40 to 28. With the win, Arcadia will advance to take on the winner of Marietta and Maryville. That game will be coming up at 8 o'clock. Marietta is ranked 22nd in the country. They are 20-6. Maryville, the champs of the USA South, 21-7 on the year. We will have a new broadcast that goes live before that game about 10 minutes before tip-off, so be sure to head to the schedule page on pioneers.marietta.edu. And again, the winner of that game will be taking on Arcadia tomorrow at 7 o'clock will be that contest. So if you're an Arcadia fan and just want to maybe go out and celebrate a little bit, won't be watching the Marietta game, be sure to come right back here and join us tomorrow at 7 o'clock on pioneers.marietta.edu. We would like to thank you for tuning in tonight. Once again, repeating this evening's final, Arcadia 80, New Jersey City 60. A big congratulations to NJCU on an outstanding season. Their seniors, LeBron Green, Shaquan Worthy, James Richardson, James Julius, Yuri Brutus, Solomon Pierre. Those the seniors for NJCU. They can be very proud of a great season as they head home with a final record of 28 and another NCAA Tournament appearance in that very storied program's history. But it was all Arcadia tonight, and again tomorrow they'll advance to play the winner of Marietta and Maryville at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. Final score, Arcadia 80, New Jersey City 60. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We'll see you for that Marietta-Maryville game coming up at 8 o'clock. This is Drake Bolin wishing you good night from Marietta.